Good late Thursday, early Friday. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center right now, giving a look at that current Doppler radar perspective. We actually have some scattered showers around here. You can see this early hour per se. That's when we're doing this, so you don't always see that across our region this time of night. Just kind of showing you here about 1:30 in the morning as we kind of give you the very latest on what's going on. No severe weather or anything as we're looking, but again, just kind of giving you the latest details here. I know you can see the temperatures there, still pretty warm here for this time of night, but I mean, that's how it is a lot of times. At this point of the year, 80 degrees around Tallahassee, 81 as we look up there towards South Georgia around Camilla. You can see some 70s in many other spots, even a low 80 reading there in Glenn County, next to that 76 there. So that kind of tells the weather story. Even I kind of overlooked it, but it kind of blends in there with the interstates. But and naval air states, and they're still at 86 as of the observation. This before 1 a.m. into Ward Jacksonville. So that kind of tells the story there. As we're looking at things, we're looking at the very latest here. I mean, just trying to give you the up-to-date information. So, and yeah, I mean, you can kind of just, I mean, to see the different numbers here. I mean, Mayport 81 and 82, they're Apalachicola. So, again, kind of just giving you that that update here. I know off toward the west we have some more moisture, and that's going to be a sign of some things to come as we look ahead in toward that Friday. So just keep that in mind here. Going to be pretty stormy, pretty active, it looks like, on that Friday here, and that's going to continue through the weekend and early next week. But then the early indication for the 4th of July at this point, and it's subject to change, but the early indications are now looking to be that it'll be a little bit drier but hotter here, so heat safety could end up being a big thing here as they look toward the 4th of July. It's not a guarantee yet, but that's where it's kind of leaning toward here at this point in time. So again, just trying to give you the very latest here, and let's go ahead and now dive into some of our graphics. I'll go ahead and say the tropical climatology here, and just kind of indicate that the peak of hurricane season is still ways away, but we are watching some different areas now. The newest update coming in here, which we'll see in a second. We're now looking at 3 areas. As you have Beryl, Chris, Debbie, the next few names on the list as hurricane season runs to November 30th, and then here's that outlook. Just hot off the presses here. I know that update coming on in around 1:14 in the morning, and you can see there we have a system with a 90% chance of development, and then another one with a 30%, a third system now with a 20% chance of development. So seeing some stuff further out than we generally see this time of year. May be something where it just kind of is a prelude to a really active year. These systems may not be ones that end up being a big deal, but not completely out of the question that we will have some issues here to watch as we look somewhere toward maybe the southeastern Gulf Coast from one of these here in the next couple of weeks. Nothing really overwhelming in the guidance right now to indicate that, but we'll just have to kind of make sure here that things don't get crazy as we're looking ahead. But nothing overwhelming in the guidance right now. The indications are more for southerly tracks. If you're looking at Florida, for instance, right now the guidance indicates tracks away from Florida for the most part, but there's still some variability in about really this time. And in terms of this the forecast, I mean, things can still shift around here where the different interpretations kind of take things. But I'll go ahead and show you now the next 7 days with that rainfall forecast. I know toward much of Florida, quite a bit of rain, but that might be more early to mid period here next 7 days. Maybe not so much around the 4th of July toward our area anyway. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. And you can go to clutter.com/radar for an interactive look at things we're not on the air. Southwest Florida, just a little bit more precip possibility here, around 2.5 inches. It's looking like as we get towards some of those areas. And as we go ahead and see that extended forecast here in a moment, of course, just reminding the recovered area here. I know we're in Bradford County, part of the 62 counties, always on for a tornado warning storm, and the region And then as you see our planning forecast, that rainfall chance there, 70% on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. A little bit lower on Tuesday, and it starts to drop off a little bit more markedly there on Wednesday and on Thursday, but the temperature will warm up. So you have to watch out maybe for some heat issues there toward the 4th of July for those events. Still not, set in stone, but that's the first early indication that I'm getting here. As we really, once you get into about 7 days, that's when you can start to, have some real indication of what could happen. And this time of year it's always tricky, but we'll watch things here in the Weather Center. Definitely above average temperatures in terms of those highs. It looks like over the next 7 days. So something to kind of keep our eyes on there in that regard. I know. Let me go ahead and jump back on over to the other map. I'll go ahead and even go in a little bit tighter. I do want to zoom in on Albany, Georgia, that area, because I do want to congratulate WALB News 10's Jim Wallace on his retirement there after decade of coverage there for that region. He's done sports and news there, as we're looking in the more recent years, and been there, since the 1970s, over 47 years. So that is a big deal there. Congratulations to Jim Wallace there at WALB News 10, the NBC, ABC duopoly there on his retirement. I know I interned there in 2018, and I know he was there in the newsroom and in the studio, and pretty nice guy as we were looking there to award Albany, Georgia, that did a great job and had a really, really high work ethic. As we go ahead and go back on over to the broader perspective now, you can see here, just seeing some scattered showers in Levy County, Dixie County, Wakulla County, kind of giving you an idea there on the Doppler radar. Just trying to let you know exactly what's going on there. And I think that's going to do it for now, though. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. But we'll probably have to pop back in as conditions warrant here. Will, if the conditions do warrant for severe weather that pops up over the next 7 days. I know you have Facebook there where we'll just maybe post warnings, and Twitter if that's, really the scenario where these aren't just overwhelming warnings, but when we start to see more significant severe weather or certain population densities at risk, then we'll have to jump on. Of course, if there's any tornado warnings, then we'll be doing that as well. So that's going to do it for now. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe out there as we're turning that page from June into July, already about halfway to the year 2024.